And here he is in the top left-hand corner from the team Evil Geniuses. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the best Zerg players, Stefano. He is going up against from the team LGIM down here in the bottom right-hand corner. So cross positions here on Antigua Shipyard. The blue Protoss player, former GSL Code S champion, Seed.
And it looks like we're playing back on the green server once again. So Seed using his regular account. And there's the, no exclamation mark, but the telltale punctuation from Mr. Stefano. Good luck, comma, have fun, period. So we'll see what both these guys offer. You mentioned, though, that Stefano likes to play some interesting games on Antigua Shipyard. Yeah,
you know, he does tend to have, well, okay. 10-2 is such a funny thing because Stefano just has a ridiculous plethora of strategies that he does like to implement. One of the famous things about Stefano is that he doesn't actually use build orders.
Correct.
He just kind of does whatever he feels comfortable with. So it always really comes down to what kind of a mood he's in that day, but have seen a great majority of games where Stefano just loves to get himself up to 4 bases before getting too crazy with anything. Of course, Mutaplay not really viable in any match. Well, okay, it doesn't excel in any matchup on this map. You gotta remember, of course, when things don't excel, people don't expect them, and that kind of makes them work. So don't forget to remember that, of course. But yeah, Stefano, a big fan of getting thrown to 3 bases, kind of just handling things defensively while trying to deny the Protoss third, and then working from there. I saw an epic series. One of the most incredible ZVPs I've ever seen was actually Complexity's MVP at the Tails at the time. He went up against Stefano on this map. They did play a best of 7, and Stefano won, I believe, 4-1. But this was the map where Tails did take the match. Oh my God, Kevin! If you haven't seen that game, it was incredible.
Was this from the multiplayer I-44 finals where Stefano won the best of 7 against, or I'm sorry, where, no, you said Tails actually took the set. So they played again.
No, Tails did not take the set. He took this game on Antigua Shipyard, though, and it was incredible. On 2 bases, Tails continued to push until about the 17-minute mark, and then he actually cracked Stefano, who was on 3 bases at the time.
Interesting.
It was insane. But let's point out right off the bat here that we were just talking about how Mutaplay is not so good on this map, Kevin. Where did Seed just build his wall off?
He built it actually out here at the front. This is a lot wider path here, and the thing is there's a lot of staging area, and this photon cannon's really far away from being able to provide any sort of defense that's back here at the natural.
Especially if the Cyber Core's built out there as well, which it does look like maybe the case as the gateway's getting ready to finish up and there's no pylon near the Nexus. This is going to be a lot of vital structures for Seed that are all up in the front here. He's going to have the Forge. He's going to have one of his gateways and his Cybernetics core all in this front line. If his army's ever caught out of position. In addition, he's also got to remember, he's got to defend at the natural here, and he's got to defend in the main. This makes Mutas a little more of an open option now for Stefano.
It's a possibility. It is. Stefano has a lot of flexibility on this map, though. He can do some sort of early aggression that's designed to pop through the destructible debris and continually deny his opponent's third. He has the just sit back and play very passively and try and flank a large army in the middle of the map game from 3 different ramps. There's a lot of flexibility for Zerg players here, and Protoss players usually need to be a little bit more aggressive in order to take advantage of things.
Yeah, I am wondering about the, you know, we've seen it before, of course. Blink Stalkers are pretty effective on this map. It's just, wow, if Stefano went for Mutas, Seed could be in a really tough spot defending against it. We do see at this moment, Seed is going to be opting for a robotics facility that is now dropping down. Immortal Central Timing, of course, not out of the question. A really, really strong play versus any Zerg player. And Antigua, you know, look at these lanes here. They're not that thick. 3 force fields across will cut it in half.
And this is kind of an interesting way to go about things now for Seed. Of course, he did decide to bypass a very early 3rd and 4th gas. He did invest in his +1 weapons before the Warp Gate came up and started pumping nothing but Stalkers. So we have a very big potential of seeing like a just a big, dirty Immortal push here in just a bit.
Roach Warren on the way right now for Stefano. +1 is about halfway done at this point. Looks like it's going to be a really fast Warp Prism at first from Seed, which is very interesting considering that he only has 1 gateway right now. He needs to drop down more, like right now, if he wants to capitalize on the on warping in at all with this warp prism. I mean, he's going to make it, and then it's going to fly over there, and then he's going to be able to warp in 1 unit. So, and he's not making, well, yeah, I mean, he's not even really investing Chrono Boost into it, so he could, of course, you can always follow it up with Immortals, but no, he's going to be following it up with an Observer. So, interesting opening here out of Seed.
All right, and he does have enough resources now to start putting down those gateways. There we go. Gateways number 2 and 3 on the way, and he has enough that he can make number 4 and a couple more here in a second, but it doesn't look like he's going to do it for now. Just chasing away some Zerglings in the middle of the map and picking up so he can get in and do some 4 Stalker drops here with his Warp Prism.
Yeah, even the ability to warp in 1 sentry could be really, really dangerous here. We see Stefano not in position here. Stalkers are going to be dropping down. He does not have speed yet complete, so these Stalkers will be able to play a little bit of keep away for a while. And I'm looking forward to seeing some sexy micro here out of Seed. Yeah, he's just going to lift all 4. He's going to be like, look, I'm playing it safe right now.
Yeah, and he absolutely can, and that's not really going to be an issue because he is following this up with 3 more gateways. Let's see here. Yeah, 3 more gateways, so a total of 6 with +2 weapons, with his Immortal starting to pump out. So a bit of a delayed push here. So he tries to force a few units out of his opponent, but then maybe he'll think the coast is all clear and then follow this up with a huge Immortal push here in a second.
Yeah, we're probably going to, I mean, he's getting Blink as well. So Blink's Immortals and Blink Stalkers, Immortals, and Sentries with +2. Should hit, you know, around 12 minutes or so, and it's going to be pretty strong. I really like the addition here from Seed that he's doing this Blink Stalker House. You know, it's a pretty standard timing that you see, but this keeps Stefano preoccupied so that he's not like, Seed, what are you doing right now? What are you doing? You know, he's got to deal with this Warp Prism that's been floating around doing some damage.
Yeah, it's still continuing to do damage, and every time Seed gets in here, he picks off a couple more drones, just got 4 there, and got away once again with his Warp Prism completely intact. Drops in around the side, takes a little more damage, picks off another couple of drones, and his opponent's down to just 48 now, because Stefano's really making nothing but just Lings and Roaches, and all the while, we see Seed sitting back and just accumulating more Sentries and more Immortals.
Yeah, we're getting close to the time, only about a minute and a half out now. It's 130 supply, 12 minutes is not unstandard. We see him moving out to go kill this Overlord, and I really like this play from Seed, of course. He's even going to try to be further confusing Stefano as to what's going on, because Stefano's still pretty... Actually, can we look at his vision, see what he has knowledge of?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
so,
nothing.
Well, really, yeah.
Doesn't know anything.
Nada.
So that is, of course, consequence to this harassment out of Seed.
And that harassment that we've been talking about is still continuing. Not really any damage being done to the Warp Prism, just to the Stalkers themselves, and they've all been allowed to survive. And now, Stefano's trying to charge headlong into this wall. There's nothing there. This probe hasn't actually built anything yet, and it's actually just out of the vision of Stefano. A little bit lucky there for Seed.
That's crazy, even with the Zerglings running around in circles. He can't see it. But get ready. We're getting close. 130 supply being quickly approached. You don't want to wait too long, because the Zerg will simply run away and get themselves up to maxed out pop. Then they can engage you on your side of the map, and things get extremely difficult from that point. So Seed, he does want to move out here in the near future, but he's at the same time starting up +3. But make no mistake, guys, you know, it can look pretty difficult from here. You're saying Stefano, you know, he's at 160 supply, he's on 3 bases. Seed's kind of, you can actually wait for quite a while, but once the Zerg player gets maxed out, that's when you're looking at it like, okay, it's kind of too late. So we still got a little bit of time left here.
And the Warp Prism's still taking damage, but look at this. All 4 Stalkers and that Warp Prism has survived this entire time. Stefano's finally cleared up this path over to the 3rd here, so we'll be able to stop that for a while. But Seed, he's just pressing ahead off of 2 bases. He doesn't care at all. He's got 4 Immortals. He's got a 5th coming up, and it looks like he just wants to engage this 4 straight up.
Yeah, force fields just can make things so incredibly effective. We see a couple of them going down now. But you know what? Fungal growth is going to be a factor if Seed does go for an engagement here, as we see pathogen glands and infestors on the way. Fungal changes everything, Kevin. Once a Zerg player has fungal growth, sentries are just balls of dying. That's what they do. They just die. Blink Stalkers are not able to really capitalize on that research that makes them so strong. So yeah, this is really good for Seed. He's just going to take this late, very, very late 3rd, but it's good that he's at least not going for this attack at this stage, because Fungal is just going to tear him apart.
So an interesting game to start. Stefano's really been hampered for a while. He's not felt any ability to move out. He's delayed his tech because he felt that he needed to sit back and make sure he produced enough units in the case that there was a big Immortal follow-up to this. So Seed has been able to get himself a bit of a tech advantage. Not really much of an economic one, but we'll see if he can grab one here in a second with that third base. He's already doing a nice job by putting down the 3 gateway wall.
Well, you know, Seed's upgrades are fantastic, which is a big swing point in his favor. He's about to have +3. Stefano, does he actually even have missile upgrades for his infested Terrans / roaches?
So.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Oh, he
okay,
does.
He has
one. Okay.
So he's going to be at 1-1-1 in a moment. To the +3 attack upgrades that we're seeing from Seed, this is going to be an extremely powerful Protoss army.
Yeah, and it's
like
actually,
so
if I were to be surrounded here in a second, if Seed had gotten out a little bit too far there, that would have been disastrous. And this War Prism, no, you've done so much, you can't die. The War Prism finally goes down. 3 more gateways just popping in right now for Seed as he gets his all of his economy established on his next base here in the upper right-hand corner, transferring a few drones over to that. A few probes, I should say, I'm sorry. With another gateway coming up, that's going to put him on a total of 12, I believe, something like that. That's 7. No, maybe just 10 for now. So quite a few gateways, though, appropriate amount of production. Still not a lot of splash damage, but there we go. The first couple of Archons are now morphing in, so Seed's going to have a little bit bigger threat, but he is basically maxed out.
Yeah, and Stefano's not afraid to throw away his army at this point. He's sitting at 3,500 minerals. But let's just point out that Seed is in a good position now, but the longer things go on, Stefano catches up more and more because he's researching out of 2 evolution chambers at a time right now.
Oh, and look at the hallucinated Colossi here, too. We'll see what Stefano decides to pick out of this army. Hallucinations, I believe, not used nearly enough. They have proven to be effective when used at times, and this would completely, because Stefano immediately puts up, oh my god, he overreacted and he put up a bunch of Corruptors. There's no Greater Spire coming up from him, and those Corruptors are just going to be dead weight.
Yeah, this is a really difficult engagement around for Stefano. Look at these force fields out of Seed, pushing units in through the smallest of chokes, 179 to 150 supply right now. Seed, will he opt to push into these Spine Crawlers, Kevin, or is he just going to be content to take this fourth? It looks like he's going to continue pushing forward. Spine Crawlers falling extremely fast, 56 Lings and 15 Roaches spawning now for Stefano.
Yeah, but Stefano, he's losing a lot of stuff here. These Immortals really haven't been touched, and they can just cleave their way through buildings. The Spine Crawlers really aren't going to stand in the way. You can see how many kills each of these Immortals is racking up. Now the stream of forces is making its way in for Stefano, but it's coming in piecemeal, and the Archons are just able to splash damage out and deal so much effective area of effect damage that there's nothing that Stefano can do. There it is. Congratulations, and Stefano is down. Seed, just brilliant play, not just in the way he constructed his army, but using those hallucinations, forced 5 Corruptors and deadweight out of his opponent. Great stuff there from LGIM Seed.
That was quite excellent from Incredible Miracles, one of their best Protoss players right now. We'll see if he can carry things further or if EG is going to be able to swing it back a little bit. They are down 3-1 right now. They got to make something happen.
Well, coming up next is going to be a Terran player, DeMuslim, actually. So a strong European Terran player making his way in. We'll see if he can do what Suppy and Stefano could not and take out LGIM Seed. We're going to run to a commercial break. When we come back, the map will be Cloud Kingdom.